4-man mosh pit followed by Entomb. Oh no!
Oh, a huge light bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man light bomb. They're going to follow up, and they're going to get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's going to be everybody dying. Oh my god, when does this happen? Everybody's dead.
Right. This is actually Division C East. Ignore it saying C West. That's the one thing that changed. But we are back with now Division C East match between Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers, which is I'm probably just going to call Rescue Rangers because that's just a mouthful, facing off against Brickhouse. I want to say thank you to Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers first, because they banned out Infernal Shrines, thank God, as well as we were in Curse of Hollow. Meanwhile, Brickhouse had banned out Towers of Doom and Tomb of the Spider Queen. And I'm just going to put a general bounty out now. If someone goes, you know what, we're banning Infernal Shrines, tell me. I will make sure that game is casted. I'll make sure that series is casted when Infernal Shrines banned out, but we have Brax's holdout to start out. As I said at the beginning of every series, I don't actually know who Matt picks and who first picks, just because I like to keep myself in the dark, and there's no way to find that without kind of spoiling the series. Anyway. Facility's powering up, so let's get on into the match, shall we? So, on the left-hand side, I hope both teams are the right way around. We have Emsky on the Frawl. Oh, yep. Sorry, computer, please. We have Fading Cheshi on the right wing. Tazak is on May. Hebrew Hammer is on the... Oh, Genji. And Frank is on Jaina. On the right-hand side, we do have Dizzy Wingman is on Felstad. We do have Little Soul on the Joe. Rocket Monster is on... That's a name. Rocket Monster is on the Tassadar. Shelborg is on Zarya, and Zesty is on Anna. I'm just going to check if I have these teams the right way around, because that's probably a good thing to check. Right, so we're going to get the last scuffle up, and actually, this is probably one of the least played maps this season, at least. Okay, cool, both teams are the right way around. That gets rid of my concern. As we're going to get good old scuffle to start. And Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers are going to kind of set the pace so far. And I forgot to take... I got a drink and I literally forgot to take for pain. I don't care. It's his monster. Get that cap out of here. And we can see that Little Soul... The Bubble's taking a decent amount of damage. Shelborg is actually already at full energy, which is impressive to say the least. I feel like whenever I'm Zarya, even if I put my Bubble on the tank who's engaging, I just don't get energy. So people just wisened up. Goes, I'm not giving them energy. Also, sorry, I'm about to give some ASMR, but I'll mute myself. Right. Frank and Hebrew Hammer get relatively low, but no actual kills come out of them. Fortunate for them. Yeah. Well, we do have a little more scuffles coming out top, but currently Frawl is winning. Frawl is probably one of the better ones to go into Felstad, in all honesty. Felstad is a bit of a bully for your classic offlaners, just because he can get that poke off. But Frawl has a good camp closer, Frawl has poke. Frawl can actually do a lot on this map. Alright, let's have a look at talents. It's already at level 3s apiece. That's not talents, this is. We have Lightning build on Felstad. Interesting. We haven't seen that since it was busted. You typically see either Q or auto attack build, so it's nice to see a little bit of a change. Other than that, we do see Maximum Charge Zarya, which I'm a fan of Maximum Charge Zarya. And meanwhile, Frawl is stacking that Echo of the Elements. I'm too used to just Crash Lightning at this point. And there we go. There's Felstad going down. As I said, Frawl is probably one of the better ones to go into them. But of course, Frawl doesn't want to exactly give Felstad too many stacks in doing so, and Felstad is already at 10. Level 4 is picked up by both sides. Hebrew Hammer and May actually use Ice Block, right, as Zesty decided to anti-nade them. So they're not going to get quite the healing they need. Little Soul, however, getting a little bit too low. Zesty wasn't quite finding his shots. The last one on his target, but a little bit too late. And that is actually now the Zarya going down. So that is a nice double kill for the side of Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers, which, after I said I'm not going to say their full name, I said it anyway. Brickhouse is now going to be a little bit of an issue. Huh, interesting. But yeah, I feel like I've only seen maybe 1 or 2 Cursed Hollow maps, and same for Brexit, I've only seen 1 or 2 maps as well. But thank you for Ekdar for confirming that, as it is tied for last with Cursed Hollow. But meanwhile, we have a very early Zerg actually for the side of Shoangar Rescue Rangers, as it is going to be pushing into this Brickhouse's bottom fort already. Meanwhile, Thrall is already cleared top. Thrall is like, no worries, brothers. Let me just smack these away and it's not going to be a problem. Meanwhile, Little Soul is taking a decent amount of damage. I wish they kind of buffed Anna's Q before they stopped patching the game. Because I know if you hit the shots, yeah, you're going to do great, but you got to hit the shots. Anyway, we can see there's a decent amount of damage coming out to Little Soul. Little Soul is forced back. Brickhouse did a very good job at defending that wave. But meanwhile, Thrall's just been pushing top this whole time. Imagine we're going to see flight from Felstad. Yep. Lands just to get lightning to the face. That's unfortunate. And now we're going to see the teams finally decide to do camps. Neither team had done a camp this game, and well, it's about damn time, to quote Tychus. Dizzy Wingman taking a decent amount of damage, but they do have that lightning on Emsky now. Their stacking is going to get even faster when they get their level 7s through. Speaking about level 7s, the side of Shoangar Rescue Rangers do already have theirs with relatively standard choices. I'm interested by Ancestral Wrath on 4. I guess it is extra range. It's a ranged ability that can use to do extra damage. But I wouldn't say Felstad has the most health of all the targets. I thought like whatever follow-through talent is called on 4. It may just be called follow-through. But yeah, I was thinking we were going to see that, but apparently not. Meanwhile, Emsky is now going to be a little bit of danger. And they do see a Little Soul, but however, they'll see him a little bit too late. Anti-grenade comes out. Phase shift. Nope. That is a very dead Thrall. But even if a phase shift went off in time, the anti-grenade was not going to fall off before that procced. But meanwhile, I like that the side of Shoangar Rescue Rangers are now just designed to push. Level 7's picked up. Well, Joe very late on a level 7 could be the rest team. And actually, Zarya completes maximum charge, so she now has a maximum of 120 energy. Or is it 125 energy? Oh no, it's 120, that's right. I don't know how this works now if I think about it. If it's just arbitrary numbers that they've just slapped on her bar just to make it look reasonable. I don't know. Either way, we see Little Soul is stepped up further than rest. Fading Chair, she is going to find Joe hidden in a bush, but May. Okay, look, there's 2 ice-based heroes on the same side. I'm going to get confused, even though one's a take, one's a damage, but we don't need to talk about that, do we? Hebrew Hammer is going to do what poke damage they can to Little Soul, just getting up in there, just hitting them. Meanwhile, Shellborg is getting energy the whole time, or charge the whole time, I guess I should say. And Little Soul is actually that damage is starting to add up. Frank actually taking a lot of damage in return. Tazak being absolutely laser beamed by... Wait, is there an iron there? Oh, it's Shyborg! Not Shellborg. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Blizzard, nice. And then we see a nice slide in by Tazak, actually holding on to this top point a little bit longer. Hebrew Hammer, quite slowed by the Joe getting that subdue off, I imagine. It was subdue, I haven't actually looked at it in a while. Yep, subdue. Because I've been too focused on Falstad's build, which is full W and already at 30 stacks. That's going to absolutely eat through Thrall's health sooner or later. Nice dash by Hebrew Hammer, as that will be first going down. We see none more. We see another going down. Little Soul is going to back out. Hebrew Hammer doesn't quite have the means to get on top of him. But that still is a triple kill just before the objective popped. And that means we now have heroics through for the side of Shoangar Rescue Rangers. And we actually see Thrall takes down Felstad. I looked at it and went Tassadar. I'm like, that's not right. That's absolutely not right. Meanwhile, bottom 4 is found by the side of Shoangar Rescue Rangers. Phase shift comes out top by Fading Shashi. And that will be this next top 4 being pushed into now. Meanwhile, Genji has been left bottom. Joj forces out Emsky and Fading Chashi. We can see a nice ice wall finding 2 of the side of Shoangar Rescue Rangers. Not Shoangar Rescue Rangers, but Brickhouse. Meanwhile, there's an excellent... Oh god, I can't remember what that one's called. Disruption Boss, whatever it's called. But we see Genji using that blade coming out. Finds 2 kills. That is the side of Brickhouse slowly going down. They do back out. Right, let's actually have a look at heroics now I've been thinking about it. Because if we don't have any more fights breaking out, I have a moment to actually say what I want to say. So, we have Ring of Frost Jaina. We have Dragon Blade by the Genji. Blink Heel, Brightwing, Ice Wall, May, and Sundering on Thrall. And on the other side, we have Hinterlands on Valvestad, which, yeah, this is a map that probably doesn't go late most of the time. It does end a bit earlier, so I do like the pickup by Valvestad. Meanwhile, we have Anna going Nano Boost. Ooh, interesting. Blessed Shield Joanna. Archon on the Tassadar. I've seen a lot more Black Hole than Archon this season, I feel. And we do have Repulsion Zone. Expulsion Zone by Zarya. It's not quite Grav, but still pretty good. Actually, let's have a look at quests, because I think I just saw... Yeah, Thrall has completed their level 1. Falstad's 40 through their level 1. Subdue hasn't been finished. Maximum Charge has been finished. And Genji is only 6 off Shuriken Mastery. He's nearly a master of the Shurikens. We do see Hebrew Hammer and Imsky holding top. Dizzy Wingman is probably not one to get... Oh my god, Hebrew Hammer nearly accidentally went into him. But now they've realized they're maybe a little bit far up and decide to back out. Hebrew Hammer does scout the bush, does find the whole side of Brickhouse bearing down on them. They do decide to dash on a Rocket Monster, which part of me wants to call him Rocket Minister now because that's far funnier. But I don't know what the actual name is, so I'll stick with Monster for now. It seems more likely, despite Rocket Minister being just really funny. But we do have... Next objective should be getting called soon enough, I'd imagine. It's been a little bit of a downtime. Both teams are going to have a little gander at boss. Not going to quite commit to it. And this is where we get... Braxis does have a lot of fighting, but also in between objectives, there is a lot of downtime. Like, it's a small map. The downtime isn't amazing. Like, yeah, you can do pushing and such, but... If you already have such an advantage, I should really be doing better on camera work. Just one arm makes this much harder. Again, sore shoulder, injured, etc. And that was a good Tassadar wall by Rocket Monster, meaning that they aren't able to, or the team of Chongar Rescue Rangers aren't able to capitalize on any kind of combo that May can pull off. Right, and beside Chongar Rescue Rangers are in position, Emsky does see Little Soul and actually decides to back out. I think that is the correct play, because that is going to be dangerous otherwise. Hebrew Hammer looking to be a little bit disruptive, potentially. Oh, miss. Yep, hit. Hit. Oh, miss. Just watching this. This Genji is like zoning for their life. Well, for the objective's life. And there we see 13's R now through the side of Brickhouse. We hear the lightning come out. There's a deflect coming up. Dizzy Wingman's getting all of these charges so easily, and you can see Hebrew Hammer lost half health just about. Blessed Shield came out, didn't quite find its mark, but that's because Jaina used the Ice Block in the meantime. We can see there's another 3 kills, 4 kills on the side of Brickhouse. We can see Little Soul is being chased down by Hebrew Hammer. Hebrew Hammer dropping Blade there, Ice Ring from Jaina. Jaina just did so much damage himself. Thrall actually gets on top of boss just before objective is over. So they will be able to get this out at the same time, and this could be a potentially end push by the side of Chongar Rescue Rangers. Does it go? Oh, it goes top. Oh, that would have been so good if it went bottom for them, but nope, it does go top. There's a little bit of a Zerg wave top, but it's not going to honestly get too much. Meanwhile, there's full Zerg wave bottom and boss top. So, Brickhouse may need to split their attention, or they just all in one area, go to another as soon as they can, just because they do have a comp that is pretty good at clearing the Zerg. Zesty gets caught. No follow-up on the Ice Wall, however. And the side of Brickhouse is doing their best to clear this Zerg wave, but it's just not quite enough of them. I do like that May is tanking the shots while the rest of the team is fighting. Nice Ice Ring, meaning that actually there's going to be a few roots coming out of that, but that is the fort keep down. We see Sunder hitting 2 of them. There's Tassadar going down first. Little Soul pushed back into it. Doesn't even pop Iron Skin. Iron Skin broken. Shield put on them. They are going to live thanks to that Zarya bubble. Meanwhile, Dizzy Wingman is in the backline trying to do their own thing. Also, welcome Tazak. Hope you're doing well today. We do see that Tazak low actually. They're on about 700 health. And they're actually found by the Hinterland's Blast. Not ideal, but this map will continue. We're going to get one of the longer Braxis maps now. And this boss did a decent amount top, but by no means was it that Chongal Rescue Rangers can end. They bought a lot of time for top to get down to half, but boss wasn't going to live too much longer either way. And we can see that camps are now being picked up by the side of Rescue Rangers. And we're just getting, once again, objective over. We're going to get some safe plays, a little downtime to relax, to breathe, to think about life, and to reach your inner zen. Find inner peace. Of course, that inner peace is going to come over as soon as Zerg waves are called and objectives are going to be fought for again. However, nope, Hero Hammer craves violence. That's just the Shimada way, isn't it? Just, oh, an enemy, I must fight. 16s are through for the side of Chongal Rescue Rangers is going to be the main thing to note here. So we can see that the side of Brickhouse not quite wanting to fight that at the moment and just back out. And 16s are about to come through to them is probably the most important thing to note. Because we see 15 versus 17, 3, 2, 1. 16s are now through for the side of Brickhouse, which very important for their comp actually, just especially because Joanna gets a lot of self-sustain. We see Tacidar's build come online fully, and active reload for Ana is usually a godsend. Right, let's close that, and let's just see. Yep, we see... My mouse is all over the place. We see Chongal Rescue Rangers are very much on the event, while Brickhouse is just kind of staying in their base. They haven't really left it in the last minute or so. They got camps, sure, but that was about it. We have well, we can see that there is going to be a disengage from the side of Chongal Rescue Rangers. Icewall doesn't quite find anyone, but does at least split the team for long enough for them to back out, and we're going to get another objective phase starting up. There it is. Right, Thrall and Genji are going bottom, so just hitting alone. Least popular maps in order of Volskaya, Cursed, Garden, and Sky. Okay, interesting. Well, we do see that top is being capped by Brickhouse, so now we may just get the merry-go-round of life happening, where one team caps one area, one team caps the other, but no, we're actually going to get a fight. We're going to get a barn burner coming out. Let's go! If you see Rocket Monster walk straight into the stun, Rocket Monster actually gets stunned early on. See Genji dashing in, actually that is Archon popped immediately. We do see Sunder and Explosion Zone coming out. Hebrew Hammer drops the Dragon Blade, does a decent amount of damage. Is getting relatively low thanks to Dizzy Wingman. Dizzy Wingman may actually find the kill, however Thrall was the first one to go down. Rocket Monster barely holding on, but the last Blizzard hit puts him down to 13, doesn't quite find him. Tazak drops out the Ice Wall, not going to go down either. Dodges the Felstar's light... Hinterland's blast, and actually Genji takes down two more people. Little Soul and Zesty relatively low. Tazak used tap, and I think we see Hebrew Hammer smells blood. He goes in on the... And they will go down to the process. Actually, Jaina was the one who found the kill. However, then we did see another 2 kills picked up for the side of Chongal Rescue Rangers. GG caused by Little Soul. I think, however, Chongal Rescue Rangers playing a little bit too safe. Nope, we're getting pings. We're getting a lot of pings coming out. It feels like we're going to get a little bit of a fort action happening here, just because Zerg Wave can then march up the lane and get that final end. Is SC called GBG? Well played as well, but I think the side of Chongal Rescue Rangers will respawn at least by the time that objective's up, but whether they'll be able to defend it just because it is a full Zerg at 17 minutes is going to definitely do a lot of damage. But right. Let's see how this goes. Thrall is ready to use Sundering. We can see that Storm Talents are through the side of Chongal Rescue Rangers now. We see Cold Snap picked up, we see Fairy Protector, we see Expulsion Zone used. Dizzy Wingman already at basically at half health. Genji unfortunately not close enough to find that. Genji only just respawning now. We do have now the full wave coming up. There's that first Ring of Frost. There's Cold Snap coming out now. Rocket Monster finds that. We do see Ice Wall coming out. We're going to see a stun combo. Nope. May is not actually able to get that Blizzard out in time. But there is Falster. Not Falster going down. That is the Tesla going down. Genji is back now. We do see Dash immediately finding that kill. Imski relatively low. Barely. Nope. Not quite holding on. as his next one, and then Shyborg is the last person standing. Actually, Zesty is. Hebrew Hammer went for them, isn't able to quite finish off. However, the core will go down, and that's the first map of the series. Going over to Cho and Gall. Rescue Rangers. GG call by both sides. So let's have a look at the game summary screen. So yeah, looking at these stats alone, that was definitely in favor of Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers. I don't actually know where each team is on the board, so to speak, but 23-6, it's a bit of a rough run. Genji did a lot to actually clean up all the kills there. Actually kind of scary of what they're doing there. So I like seeing these not as often picked heroes, and Genji is definitely one of them. So if any, going into the next game, I wonder if we're going to see a Genji ban. Again, it's hard for me to say, but I would like to have a look at it. So I'm just looking at the standings. Oh, Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers are below Brickhouse on standings. Interesting. Right. Let's also have a quick look at stat. I guess we'll look at talents while we're here. I can't comment on Genji. Genji's something I don't know about. If you want Genji help, don't go looking at me. Look somewhere else. But that's the Genji build. But that's to my understanding what's picked up typically. Outside, don't know about Dragon Blade. Other than that, Phase Out's an interesting pickup. Not often you see it from right wing. And I also have to say, well done to the Thrall into the offlane into Falstad. Falstad can often be a tricky one for it. Typical offlaners do, but Thrall is definitely one of the better ones. So, let's jump over to map view, and let's see what we have next. Thank God I know already it is not Infernal Shrines. I despise that map at this point. Again, Bounty. Anyone who bans Infernal Shrines, I will cast your map. Tell me. It makes it easier. But, next map of the series is, the other 2-lane map. That's legal at least. Battlefield of Eternity. Let's go, eh? Let me just open that up in the background. I nearly opened up Raxus again. Right. So that's just opening up now. So this should be a fun one considering how the last one went. So I'm going to hopefully time this correctly and not have to alt tab. I timed it. Let's go. Right. Let's start with the side of Chonga. Brickhouse first, as we see Rocket Monster is on Artanis. Nice. Dizzy Wingman on Li Ming. Little Soul is on Mei. Zesty was hanging out with a cat. Now I'm jealous. I'm jealous as well. Zesty's on Brightwing and has a cat. Fun fact. Shyborg is on the Dancing Tychus. On the left-hand side, we do see Impsky on the Malthael. We also see Tazik on... Okay, we've had some role swaps. I got thrown off. Tazik is on Hippity Hoppity. Get off my property. Lunara. Hebrew Hammer is on Tank this time, and he is on Garrosh. Fading Chaishi is on Anduin. And Frank is on the Hanzo, which I can have a guess without opening talents, because I think I missed seeing them as well. I imagine we see Amateur Opponent. I imagine we're going to see Natural Toxin, or whatever it's called, at level 4 for Lunara. We imagine we're going to see W build. But we do have Little Soul Throw, and we do have that slide actually cancelled, and they're going to get relatively low, but they will not quite go down. But let's have a look. Oh, cool. Amateur Opponent. Oh, cool. W build. 2 for 2 so far. Everything else does make sense, however, nothing stands out. We're going to see that Li Ming Q build most likely, at least for level 1 is picked up. It might have Spell Armor. That Spell Armor is going to pay dividends at least, but we don't know about where we're going with the rest of the talents. Just because you see core Force Armor at level 1 doesn't necessarily mean it's being locked into full Magic Missile build. Just because it's definitely more of a defensive one. Because I know sometimes in Magic Missile build you can also see Illusionist. Teleport, just because it can do a lot. We can actually see that Zesty throwing in. Hebrew Hammer in a good position to at least knock him down. Hebrew Hammer with that 40 armor holding on. Tychus, percent damage can only do so much. Imsky has joined them bottom, is actually going to do a decent amount of damage. Little Soul taking a decent amount as well. Or halving just behind the gate. There's so many times you see like they're halving just behind the gate where you're like, if you could just see that one little bit, that's a dead player. But we can see now Imsky has come top. And the thing at least about Malthael is, even if you don't necessarily win the fight, you can at least clear and go do other things. They are, okay, smart, because check with camp. They do have a Sea Rocket Monster on the map, so they know they don't have to stay there too long. Bottom camp found by Gall Rescue Rangers in the meantime. Little Cell getting that move speed thanks to Zesty. And level 4 advantage is now through for Gall Rescue Rangers. I'm going to have a quick check. Pick it. Pick it. Pick it. Pick it. Pick it. Where is the trait? There it is. Also, fun fact, if you do this, it doesn't show the text. If I do this, however. Yep, Nature's Culling. There you go. Not surprised. So we are going to get we're getting some major race coming in earlier for the side of Gall Rescue Rangers. And meanwhile, we can see level 4s are picked up for Brickhouse, which Triumvirate, yeah. Polymorph, yeah. Minigun picked up from Tychus. Okay, I like it in the rhythm. It's a fun one. You would have thrown if you didn't pick it, Tazak, I'm going to be honest. And actually, we see Brightwing going down first. The Malfair managed to find them. Little Cell is actually going to hold on. And actually, while they're mid-dash outside of the map, that was Artanis going down. The May goes down, and that's actually a good fight there. That's exactly what you need now if you're trying to go Rescue Rangers, because it lets you get so far ahead of a race. You should actually have half time relatively early on. Sure, Dizzy Wingman is still up, and that's a decent amount of the race of the side of Brickhouse. But it's not the end of a... Taz, I'm going to start bullying you if you keep getting hit by starter making. But yes, on a normal map, I agree with what Tazak's saying in chat. Essentially what they're wanting to go instead of the race at level 1, it is... You typically want to go the Q that gives you bigger range and the increase on AoE, especially if you're going the burst damage build, which is at level 7 with that choking pollen. But with this map, you typically want to see Nature's Culling more, as Nature's Culling does so much race to the Immortal. And you can see that it is comfortably in Gall Rescue Rangers' favour, and that will be Immortal going top. And I imagine we may see Malfail rotate bot, or at least bot gets just left alone for a little bit if they're going to do a big push. But Emsky is backing out, and we can see now Garrosh is holding, just thinking about doing something sneaky. Right, and that's what I mean, like, even with their race advantage, this Punisher is still going down fast. It's already nearly lost its shield. Its shield is down now, actually. And Minigun has been worn out by Tychus. Tychus has it down now. Hebrew Hammer, considering going in behind, does change their mind about it. We do have... Oh, walking up to them. This poor Garrosh is just being like... People dash away. He's been polyed. That is another cancel by Andu. And Andu's been very good at cancelling base slides. Shyborg is getting what damage they can off of their minigun. And that will be... a pretty good first Immortal, in all honesty. Sometimes the first Immortal can be hit or miss, and this one struck a pretty decent mark, as we can see that top 4 is basically just under half health now. Imsky, are you going to do Siege? Or are you going to scout it? Oh, thinking. What I thought. Rocket Monster does scout it. However, Rocket Monster themselves have been scouted. And last time there was this camp fight, it didn't go too well, so let's see what happens this time as Hebrew Hammer goes in. And Shyborg is thrown over the wall, out of range of everything. Dash doesn't quite go where they want. And Rocket Monster is going to do their best to hold on, and that is a camp going over to the side of Gall Rescue Rangers. Meanwhile, instead of the offlaners having the offline, we have a little bit of scuffle between the two damage dealers of Tazak and Dizzy Wingman. All the while, though, we see Emsky is coming up. And there is a wave gear advantage now from the side of Gall Rescue Rangers top. But let's have a look. Yep, choking pollen at 7, so we were looking at that blow-up build, just not able to pick up the normal level 4. Nice throw by Hebrew Hammer. However, Hebrew Hammer now in danger themselves. They got polymorphed out of a combo. Hanzo is actually getting there with his W quest. He's still only 5 off at this point. And actually, we don't have Q build. That's what I realized. Why Triumvirate? I thought there's Arcane Missiles at 4. I can't quite remember all of Li Ming's talents. I'm not exactly a damage dealer player. I play like free damage dealers, I play free actual assassins and then like 2 specialists, free specialists. And Li Ming's not one of the ones I play too often. Yes, now we flame Tazak for not picking Blossom Swirl. Excellent idea. But we can see Dizzy Wingman has started racing. Hebrew Hammer does take a decent amount of damage from the W. But yeah, as I was trying to say, typically you see Arcane Missile build on this map from Li Ming if you're wanting full race. But W build can still do a lot if you're poking in. It just doesn't have that single target potential that Q build does. Yep, Tazak is coming to do his racing duties. Good. Look how fast it goes down with that. Look how fast the objective goes down with Nature's Culling. It's doing so good. It's just doing great. And actually we see top 4 goes down to actually rather large waves, so this Punisher, this Immortal will be going bottom this time. And we can actually see that the side of Rescue Rangers actually tagged camp in time. So that means this will be able to push just a little bit later in the objective, but still start coming down now. Garrosh throws a minion, heck that minion in particular. And we do now see that level 10s are through from both sides. Where's my glass of water? I need that after this. We see Dragon Arrow picked up by Hanzo, taunt by Garrosh, Light Bomb, and when Thornwood, Vine, Lunara, and actually speaking of throw, there comes, oh, that is a very dead May as the kitchen sink was thrown at her. And we can see that a stack of last rites were found. Sorry, I need a cough. And on the other hand side, we have Blink Heal, Ice Wall, Repulsion. Not Repulsion, Wave of Force is for level 10, Repulsion is level 20. We see the AoE Blind from, I can't remember what this is called, Suppression Pulse from the Artanis, and once again we have Commandeer Odin from Tychus. And we're going to get camps now picked up. Louisville starting the Bruiser camp, and we have the bottom one picked up by Tyke, and we still have John Gall Rescue Rangers picking up the bottom siege. Ektar, I disagree. Yeah, so Malphite is a little bit stuck on what to do currently. They can't exactly soak top safely, just because, well, the enemy is... Each wave is really pushed out. You're going to have to start sticking as a 5, which is a bit counterproductive if you're the side of Challengard Rescue Rangers. But if you want to play safely and make sure you don't lose any of your team members, is honestly the best bet. Level 13's found first for the side of Ektar, I will ban you. Honestly, that's probably what Tazak did, actually. They just spun a wheel, and it just so happened to land on Nature's Culling. That's the true way to pick your talents. I want to do an NGS event. That's just literally, we spin a wheel, and that's what talents each player has to pick. Like, okay, there's numbers 1, 2, or 3 of us, spin a wheel. Okay, the character you pick has to only pick, like, the first talent of each tier, or the second talent of each tier, so on and so forth. And we do see now that there's a decent stun coming out of Rocket Monster. Rocket Monster is in danger, does manage to hold on. Stun comes out of him, that's a decent amount of damage. Holding on, Vera is the last rights. Last rights does find a kill onto Artanis. And that is Hebrew Hammer holding on best we can, have to peel out. Zesty, relatively low, goes down to the poison of... Well, I guess poison is a weird way to say it, but it goes down to the dot damage of Malphite. And we do now see Race coming out onto the Punisher of Brickhouse as Chongar Rescue Rangers is going to start things out. Level 13's not quite found. Tazak, why are we so late on picking your 13, man? Also, if I do sound like I'm picking on you and you don't want it to happen, just tell me to stop, and I will happily just pull back on what I'm kind of saying. Just because I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. But right, we do see Race continuing. That is a very, very dead immortal. Well, that's a lie. You did need Nature's Toxin. And we do now see that it is a full health immortal going over to the side of Choangal Rescue Rangers. We see May is thrown in, hit with a backup stun. Actually, I was saying nearly gets hit by us. Oh, but that's not quite theirs. Nice Dragon Arrow by Frank. Frank actually gets pushed out of the Ice Wall by Shyborg. And we do see now Immortal is going bottom. And this is going to be a pretty good push, if I imagine, by the side of Gall Rescue Rangers. Wait, what did I just get notification? I see them casting two at once. Interesting. Right, let's have a look how this goes. Rocket Monster does look for us. Does think about swap, but doesn't go. Ektar, bullying is bad. And we do now see the side of Gall Rescue Rangers are pushing in. Zesty getting relatively low. Tazek poking him down very quickly. And, well, they're losing health far faster than I imagine. Hebrew Hammer falls a little bit short with their Q. Meanwhile, Tazek has been doing damage the whole time. Look at that, Nature's Toxin go. And 16s are found by the side of Gall Rescue Rangers. They may have been able to stay and get a pick, but no, they decided to play it safe. They decided to back off. And if they decided to end it, may have been one of the shorter series in NGS history. But I don't actually know what the shortest series is actually in NGS history. I imagine there's some, both maps ended post 10 and it was just an absolute roll in some like Division D game, but a bit hard to tell. I imagine probably actually Division E. Division E is such variance and Dizzy Wingman's not so sure about this area. They saw a wisp moving through. Actually, I don't want to die. That's not for me, Chief. Oh, Emsky, you showed! No! And we do actually have Emsky is getting hit by Icewall. Franken Sheishi is barely going to squeeze through. That is actually the... Okay, Ektar, I said series, not map, series. Anyway, we do have the siege camp, bruiser camp being taken by the side of Gall Rescue Rangers. They're getting very aggressive now. As they have a talent advantage. They know they can walk in. And as well, that Tychus is down. There wasn't really any other damage to really follow up. And we can see now that Emsky is doing the bruiser camp, while the side of Brickhouse is pushing it in. Not Brickhouse. Brickhouse being pushed into by Gall Rescue Rangers. Well, Ektar, you got my hopes up. For no reason. Ping's coming out on top camp. So we're going to get two camps put out. And then I imagine we're going to get yet another race from Gall Rescue Rangers. Though they can actually aggress instead under their own punish Immortal if Brickhouse decide to race. But I imagine Brickhouse are probably looking to defend under their own Immortal. Right, and that is quickly dropping once again. As I said, the race between Hanzo and his serrated arrows, as well as Tazek with Nature's Toxin, pretty good. But let's have a look at what do the side of Brickhouse need to do to kind of get back in this. I don't care, Imsky. They have 16s now, which is kind of a major kind of pressure point they need to get through. So now they need to find a pick. So Artanis really needs to hit a swap. They need to hit it onto something such as Tazek or Chaishi, because Frank has an escape. Hebrew Hammer also harder to kill, and Emsky also has their own escapes. Speaking of which, we see Little Cell being thrown in. Nice ice block coming off immediately. Zesty phase shifting an ice wall coming out. And, oh, actually this is what we talked about. Emsky nearly goes down. Rocket Monster doing the best to kind of get on top of the team. And that is Lightbomb coming out. So now we actually have the advantage swinging in Brickhouse's favor. This is exactly what you needed if you're Brickhouse, actually. Brickhouse was able to pressure out Gall Rescue Rangers. They got even talents. They were patient. Sure, they had to give that first half of the Immortal, but with their patience, they are unable out to actually step in. And that is a good dodge by Shyborg on the route. And now we get them stepping in. Hebrew Hammer looking to get a throw off. Wave of Force nearly push him in. And Hebrew Hammer actually using that punish to go out. Little Cell trying their best to hold on, does get hit by stun, and actually that's an excellent kill by the side of Brickhouse. Brickhouse definitely now back in this, so a map that may have ended maybe 5 minutes ago from what I thought is now something that can very much go in the favor of Brickhouse. Tazek is thinking about racing. We're getting a little bit of sneaky deer hopping in the backline. However, there's a car-shaped May-shaped car running at them very soon. But note, we see that is Shyborg walking, meanwhile Tazek is racing, so this is going to be relatively close. Shyborg having to back out, and we do see that the Immortal, for the first time, goes over the side of Brickhouse. Brickhouse is their Immortal pushing with it. Dragon Arrow finds May, and that is very important for the side of Brickhouse. Well done, guys. I do like when there is like two quick back-to-backs. Like, damn, that was a good, well-coordinated team. But I like when the in this case, Brickhouse is just trying to claw their way back in it, and they're able to kind of push past what was looking to be such a disastrous game before, and it's actually looking to be relatively onto it. And now I would like to see what they can do, and if they can keep this momentum all the way to Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers core. However, Immortal is already down because they had to reset. There wasn't quite enough push of it, but at least does start to open up the lanes to what they want to do. Because those 16s were vital for them as they do get a lot of extra damage. Let's have a look. Yep, especially with things such as Criterize. Criterize with that minus 25 armor makes anyone squishy, and if you're Garrosh, it's not what you want to see. Garrosh relies on their armor to live through a lot of stuff, and well, minus armor all of a sudden makes things, well, much more difficult to live through anything. Especially Garrosh, who really does rely on it, but I guess anyone who takes more damage is going to be a bit concerned. Right, let me close that. 20s are actually approaching for Trongar Rescue Rangers. So, Brickhouse do need to take a fight, but the side of Rescue Rangers is just not having it. You can see how safe they rotated there. They're like, actually, we do not want to face anyone at the moment. We want our Storm Talents first, which is the right play by them. But that just means that Brickhouse is going to have to work that extra bit harder to make sure they get their Storm Talents, so they can have that even fight. Because as we see, safe-ish, not safest, but safe-ish rotations from the side of Rescue Rangers, and it's going to reward them with 20s before any major fight comes out. And now we can see that, let's have a look at Storm Talents, because we see Inner Light picked up by Anduin. We see no one can stop Diff on the, man, I'm forgetting his name, Malfow. I do like that we're getting a decent push from the side of Rescue Rangers, but however, they're going to be trading a fort from the keep by the looks of it. Titanic Mike Garrosh, Intensifying Toxin, that's why I keep saying Toxin. Intensifying Toxin on the Lunara and Bullseye Hanzo. Wait, what is... Okay. Tazak, what the... Invigorating Spores? Your tank may have been thinking of safety, to be fair, at least. Anyway, we do see rays coming out from both sides, as it is already half time for the side of... actually very close from Rescue Rangers is going to see that poison take it over. We see Taunt coming out, May holding on, does get the Ice Walk off just in time, meaning that the last rights won't finish off. However, Light Bomb hitting two of them. That is May going down first, Zesty is soon to follow. That's in a quick double kill there. However, Li Ming gets one in return. Hero Hammer getting relatively low. Tazak also holding on. No, barely. And we can see Shyborg is... Oh, never mind. The poison is not going to kill them. Oh, the poison's going to kill them. Yep. W was procced partway through there, which meant the poison had a stack renewed. And unfortunately for Shyborg, that just means a little bit too much damage was coming in, and that was all she wrote for them. Dizzy Wingman now cornered between a rock and a hard place, and that will be them going down. GG call by Dizzy Wingman. It may be very much the end. I don't know quite how Artanis defeats a whole half shield, full health Immortal by themselves, but I'm a wishful thinker. Rocket Monster, what you need to do, you go in, swap Anduin in, undercore, kill him, easy peasy, and then pray. That's just my general go-to if games aren't going my way, just pray. But anyway, we do see swap coming out to Frank. Frank doesn't quite get hit by it. Nice throw by Garrosh, meaning that double stuns coming out to Rocket Monster and DSD. Lewis Cell's holding on to his couch. ZSD calls GG, well played. Hebrew Hammer getting relatively low. Lewis Cell also, Emsky not able to quite find the kill on them. We do see Paul coming out. Emsky is going to hold on with their life at least. Hebrew Hammer getting relatively low. But the game and the set going over to the side of Shongar Rescue Rangers. GG's called by both sides. Right, let's have a look at the game summary screen real quick. So we see Hanzo had the most damage, 52k. Lunar had the most siege, thanks to that. I should really give it to Talon, right? Thanks to that Nature's Culling. But yeah, it was definitely a hard one for Brickhouse. Brickhouse still had some very good moments. Brickhouse had some very good moments at that map, and I'll talk about it more when we're back at map view, just because both games they did have their moments where I thought they were going to win. Like, when we came up to that fight with our patient for 16s, and we just took the extra time building up to the fight, you can see they actually had a very good fight, and actually they were able to get a Immortal, and Chongar Rescue Rangers looked to be on the back foot for a little bit. Oh yeah, Tennis did. I'm looking. Our Tennis was landing a lot. Because of how behind, sorry, what was said in chat was, didn't realize our tennis had picked up a lot of so much siege. That's because they were needing to kind of get that soak to catch up, and when they're clearing waves like they do, it does build up, especially with that amateur opponent. But yeah, Brickhouse, I think, while it may have not been their day this game, I think if we had to get another series between the two, and Brickhouse is just shows that patience they did on that 17 vs 16 fight, that it may be their map, their series to take. But right, let's have a look at talents now. Anything that stands out? Yeah, intensify. Nature's Culling. That's the standout talent today. W from Brightwing. Pretty standard. In the Rhythm Tychus, I don't know how I feel about it. It did definitely do its work, but it's not the most consistent of talents. Maybe other talents would work better, but I'm not a very good Tychus. I'm, in fact, a garbage Tychus, as I would call it. I am not good at them. So yeah, Tychus didn't quite get what they wanted done, but did still crank out a decent amount of damage. Li Ming did a little bit more. But yeah, so that will be that for this series, because nothing else is standing out too much to me here. Ethereal Existence maybe. Just because it was a heavy spell power team, especially because Artanis was amateur opponent, so a bit hard. What game is that? Well, fill me on what game is that as I finish up my summary for this. As I'm going to go over to map view as we can. As we can see, it was a 2-0 to Gall Rescue Rangers, CCS vs XGD. Okay, I'll have a look at that, but I do have a different series being cast next, which you'll see that soon enough. But as we're saying, Chongar Rescue Rangers did take it out 2-0 this series, favouring these two lane maps, and ultimately taking the win. Very clean by them. Brickhouse maybe... I've seen Brickhouse play before. Brickhouse is actually a very good Div C team, so maybe it just wasn't quite their day, but I am very much looking forward to maybe seeing these teams clash again as we get into the playoffs, because I know that if I'm available, I would love to cast at least some playoff games. But that'll be me for this series. What I'm going to do is, I do actually know the next series is Division C West series, and apparently I had picked it up already, and it's been going on for about 15 minutes according to the NGS website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself on mute, going to put on some music while I set up the next map and have a quick drink of water. But I'll see everyone soon enough. So catch you all in a few moments. Bye for now.